Imagine this scenario. During a routine in-service ultrasonic examination of a pressure vessel, two internal laminations are detected within the shell wall. There is no leak. There is no bulging. There are no visible signs of distress. Yet the question every integrity engineer must answer is simple. Can the vessel continue operating safely, or does this defect require immediate action? Before making any decision, we need to understand what a lamination actually is. A lamination is an internal planar discontinuity typically introduced during manufacture of the plate material. Unlike corrosion, which removes material from the surface, a lamination remains hidden inside the wall thickness. Because these indications are internal, visual inspection alone cannot tell us whether they are acceptable or not. This is where API 579 Part 13 becomes important. The objective of Part 13 is not to determine whether a defect exists. We already know it exists. The objective is to determine whether these discontinuities can reduce the vessel's load-carrying capacity below an acceptable level. Let us start with the information available from inspection and design records. These parameters define both the vessel capacity and the characteristics of the lamination. Vessel data. Inside diameter, 3,048 millimeters. Nominal thickness, 12.7 millimeters. Future corrosion allowance, 1.6 millimeters. Design data. Allowable stress, 120 MPa. Weld joint efficiency, 1. 0. Design pressure, 0.86 MPa. Ultrasonic examination identified two separate laminations. The first is relatively compact, while the second lamination is wider in shape. What is important at this stage is not simply their size, but whether they interact, whether sufficient material remains around them, and whether they affect pressure retaining capability. Lamination 1. Longitudinal length, 115 millimeters. Circumferential width, 83 millimeters. Lamination height, 3.2 millimeters. Minimum remaining ligament thickness, 8.3 millimeters. Distance to nearest weld, 254 millimeters. Lamination 2. Longitudinal length, 76 millimeters. Circumferential width, 165 millimeters. Lamination height, 2.5 millimeters. Minimum remaining ligament thickness, 8.9 millimeters. Distance to nearest weld, 650 millimeters. Spacing equals 34 millimeters. Step 1. Now we begin the actual assessment. The first step is determining the effective thickness available for pressure containment. We do not use nominal thickness directly because corrosion allowance must first be deducted. This gives us the true wall thickness available to carry load. Effective thickness available for assessment equals nominal thickness minus future corrosion allowance. 12.7 millimeters minus 1.6 millimeters equals 11.1 millimeters. Therefore, the effective thickness available for assessment is 11.1 millimeters. This effective thickness becomes one of the most important parameters in the entire assessment because it is used repeatedly throughout the screening process. Step 2. The next question is whether the two laminations interact. If defects are located too close together, the vessel may behave as though it contains one larger defect. This can significantly reduce integrity. API therefore requires a spacing check before further evaluation. Using the code requirement, we compare twice the defect spacing with twice the effective thickness. The actual spacing comfortably exceeds the requirement. Therefore, the defects do not interact and may be evaluated independently. The third step is to determine whether these defects truly behave as laminations. Why is this important? Because crack-like flaws are assessed using completely different rules. We therefore verify that the through-thickness height of the defect is small compared with its planned dimensions. For both laminations, the measured heights are significantly below the allowable limits. This confirms that the defects are planar laminations rather than crack-like discontinuities. Next, we assess the remaining ligament thickness. Think of the remaining ligament as the sound material left around the defect. This material must still be capable of carrying the applied pressure loads. API requires a minimum remaining ligament equal to 10% of the effective thickness. In this case, both measured ligaments are substantially larger than the minimum requirement. Lamination 1 has a remaining ligament thickness of 8.3 mm, which is significantly greater than the minimum required value. Lamination 2 has a remaining ligament thickness of 8.9 mm, which also exceeds the requirement by a substantial margin. The next check involves the distance from the nearest weld. Welded regions often experience different stress distributions and can be more sensitive to defects. For this reason, laminations must be sufficiently separated from weld seams before a Level 1 assessment can be considered valid. Lamination 1 is located 254 mm from the nearest weld, which is well beyond the required minimum distance. Lamination 2 is located 650 mm from the nearest weld, also comfortably satisfying the requirement. Since both laminations are located significantly farther from the weld than the minimum required distance, weld interaction is not a concern. Therefore, both defects satisfy the weld proximity screening requirements of API 579 Part 13 Level 1. Having satisfied the geometric and location requirements, we can now evaluate pressure retaining capability. This is often the most important step, because it directly addresses the vessel's ability to safely contain pressure. Using the effective thickness and vessel parameters, the calculated maximum allowable working pressure is approximately 0.87 megapascals. This value is then compared against the design pressure of the vessel. The assessment criterion is straightforward. The maximum allowable pressure must be equal to or greater than the design pressure. In this case, the vessel satisfies that requirement. The remaining pressure capacity exceeds the design pressure, indicating that the laminations have not reduced integrity below acceptable limits. Let us summarize the assessment. The laminations do not interact. They satisfy the geometric requirements. Adequate ligament thickness remains. They are sufficiently distant from welds. And the pressure capacity remains above the design requirement. Based on the API 579 Part 13 Level 1 assessment, all acceptance criteria have been met. The vessel is considered fit for continued service. No immediate repair is required. No pressure derating is necessary. Until next time, keep asking the right questions, keep making the right engineering decisions, and continue protecting the integrity, reliability, and safe operation of our plants and assets.